To implement the option menu, context menu, and pop-up menu, we'll be creating a new blank project. Here it is, and we'll implement some some of our logic and views into layout files. In layout files, we'll set the relative layout as a root layout and set the ID RLT to that. Change the text view text to menu demo, and we'll set this to parent top, and set this center horizontal to true, text size to 35 sp, text color any random color, and we'll set the margin to 50 dp. We'll give the ID to this particular text view to txt label, and we'll set image view wrap content, height wrap content, width wrap content. We'll set ID to image view, set the scale type to fit xy. We'll set this particular image view below the txt label. We'll set the source drawable to. We'll choose the drawable files from our resource folder. There are 3 resource images I am using here. You can use any of the images. These 3 resource images I'll copy into the drawable folder. Android 1, Android 2 and Android 3. We'll select Android 1 as default image. Now it is visible, and it's set into the image view. Now the thing is done. The layout part is done here. What we are going to do in this example is we'll be using option menu to change the background color of this particular layout, where it will change the background color here and as well as here from red, green or blue. And with the context menu on this particular image, we will be able to change either of the 3 images, Android 1, 2 or 3, by choosing any one of it. And with the pop-up menu, we'll be setting the font to this particular text view. For the purpose of font, we will open the control panel. Into that, we'll search the font folder, and after opening the font, we can choose any of the font of our desired requirement, or our whatever the water font that you want to use. Select those fonts, copy those and paste it into your appropriate folder. Here I have used certain fonts. I have copied certain fonts here. I'll choose Courier, Thoma and Vardhana. These 3 fonts I'll be using, and we'll be setting this particular font into resource. Right click and then go to new, then choose folder, and at the bottom of the list there is font resource folder. We'll create the font folder keeping the settings as it is. The font folder has been created. I'll right click onto it. I have copied the font files and will paste it into this font folder. Now we'll create menu folder. Right click on resource, new, and then choose Android resource directory. From resource type, choose menu and press OK. It will create us a menu folder here. Now into menu folder, first of all we'll create option menu 1. This option menu will be used to set the background color from either of red, green or blue. So we'll give the title to the name of colors, red. We'll set the ID to option red. We'll create a new item. We'll set the title green. We'll set the ID option green. Third item, that is blue. We'll set the ID option blue. So now our first option menu is created. We'll create now a context menu. The context menu will context menu 1. Context menu will contain 3 image options: item, title, first image title, Android 1, and its ID, Android 1. Or we'll set image 1, title Android 2, set the ID to image 2, we set the title Android 3 and ID to image 3. So now our context menu is also prepared, and now finally we'll create the pop-up menu. We'll give the name to this particular menu, pop-up menu 1. Into that 3 options that we'll give are the name of fonts. Title, first font is Courier. We'll give the ID second font is Tahoma. We'll give the ID and we'll create the third title, Vadana. We'll set the ID. These are the pop-up menus, so we'll set the ID to POP, prefix, the pop-up ID. Now all 3 menus are created. Now we'll be using or implementing those menus into our activity. We have created 3 views. First one is image view. We'll create the image view object, text view object, and relative layout object. We'll initialize all the 3 object, find view by ID, r.id dot image view, now we have done initialization of these objects. Now we'll create the first or implement the first function, that is on create options menu. Argument will be the menu object. Into that we'll create an object of menu inflator. Inflator is equal to get menu inflator dot inflate, and we'll give the ID of menu. Upon clicking or upon using or inflating the option menu, will inflate the option menu 1, and will pass the second argument as menu item. It will inflate the option menu. On options item selected, if user chooses any one of these items, we will call this particular function, and in this function we will try to identify the item IDs. There will be one of these three IDs present in the option menu. One will be option red, option green, or option blue. So we'll create three cases: r.id dot option red, r.id dot option green, and r.id dot option blue, and we'll break the statement. So if option red is selected, then we will set relative layout dot set background color as color dot red. This particular statement will set the background color of the relative layout to red. Another one will set the green, and finally we'll set the color to blue. Now we'll implement the context menu on create context menu. We'll create the menu inflator. Inflator dot inflate r dot menu dot context menu and menu. This will inflate the menu if and only if the targeted view here is image view. So we'll set here if v dot get id is equal to r dot id dot image view, then only it will inflate the context menu. Now we'll implement on context item selected function. Here we'll check for the ID. Get item ID, or we can directly use this into the switch case also. Here any number of context menus that you are implementing, you have to place all the cases of ID. Here we are implementing only one context menu, so there will only be three cases: image 1, image 2, and image 3 of IDs. r.id dot image 1, r.id dot image 2, r.id dot image 3, and into that we will set image view dot set image drawable, get drawable from r dot drawable dot, if the option 1 is image 1, then we'll set the r dot drawable dot android 1. If the option is image 2, then we'll set android 2 image, and if the option is image 3, then we'll set r dot drawable dot android 3 drawable file. Now we have two menus set, option menu and context menu. We'll execute the code and see how it runs. Now if we click onto it, then it will inflate the option menu red, green and blue. If I choose here green, all of the background color will be set to green. If I choose here blue, the background color will be set to blue. And if I choose red, then it will set to the red. If I long click on the image, it will display the context menu. Here we have forgotten to add one more code, line of code, that we want to register image view for the context menu. So we'll have to write here the code. View is registered for the context menu. So only then and then it will inflate the context menu on the screen. Now if I long click on image, it will display the options. Android 1, this is Android 2 image, and this is Android 3 image. If I again click on Android 1, it will display the image. If I change the background color to blue and set the image as Android 2, then it will display the image also. So these are two option menu and context menu. Now if we want to set the option menu, then we have to do slight change here in text view. Upon clicking on text view, we want to inflate the pop-up menu. So we'll set here on click method show pop-up. So it will display us an error. We will choose to create show pop-up view in main activity. It will create a file. Here we will verify if the view dot get id is equal to r dot id dot txt label, and we'll create the object of pop-up menu. We'll name it a pop-up menu. New pop-up menu. Context will be this, and view will be the view that is text label. Now we'll call pop-up menu dot inflate menu item. Which menu that we want to display? It is a pop-up menu 1, and we'll call pop-up menu dot show. This will display the pop-up menu, but for item selection we will write here pop-up menu dot set on menu item click listener. We'll create anonymous object class here, and we will check directly on switch case item dot get item id. In pop-up menu there are three possibilities. One is pop courier, pop tahma, pop verdana, three fonts and three options. Case r dot id dot pop courier break case r dot id dot pop font name break, and case r dot id dot pop up verdana, then break. So in all of these we'll be implementing its typeface and setting that to our text view. We'll create an object of typeface here. Typeface tf is equal to null. We'll set here initialize tf is equal to resource compat. We want to get application context r dot font dot first font. Now we will copy paste, same thing. We'll set the second font, that is Toma, and third font, that is Vardhana. Now we have created a typeface for each type of font, and before returning from this particular function, we will set text label dot set typeface tf. Now if you want to set it bold, italic or anything, then you can choose here typeface dot italic, bold, italic or normal, whichever option you choose. We'll keep it as it is as normal, so we'll choose text label dot set typeface is equal to tf, and we will execute the code and see how it reflects in our code. So here if I click onto this particular menu, then it will display Courier, font, Toma, and if I choose Vardhana, it will choose this particular font. Upon just simply touching it, it will display the pop-up menu. Upon long clicking on the image, it will display the context menu, and upon clicking here, it will display the option menu. So these are the three basic menus available in your Android application. There is also one more contextual action bar menu that we will see in the next video. Do keep looking for the new videos and subscribe to this particular channel. Thank you very much.